Hi, welcome to the podcast Ease into Clarity. I'm Dr. Divi, family doctor turned intuitive coach, and I'm here to help you. In this podcast, we will learn mental techniques, emotional techniques, and spiritual techniques to change daily problems. So maybe it's your husband, your boss, your coworker, your kids, they're driving you crazy. You can email me any of your questions and I will use all the techniques I've learned over the years and help you. Grab your hot chocolate and make sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon. Ciao. Hi, I'm Dr. Divi, host of the podcast Ease into Clarity, and thank you for joining me. I'm really excited about today's topic, and I hope you are too. And just a little reminder, if you want to be on my podcast and get some coaching live, all you need to do is email us at easeintoclarity@gmail.com. And I will use intuition and divine grace to hopefully help you. And all you do is email us, and my assistant Sarah will be in touch with you. It's a super fun way to help other people because we all suffer with the same stuff. So welcome. So today's podcast is entitled Clearing Blocks to Believing in Yourself, a Spiritual Approach. So we all hear these millions of TED Talks out there and lots of coaching techniques on believe in yourself, believe in yourself. You are capable of anything. And God, do I believe that? Oh, yeah. But I'm going to go through a 5-step process on taking that belief further in. Because I often find come January, February, people are like, gung-ho, I'm going to believe in myself. 2024, the best year ever. How many times did you say that in December and January? And that's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with saying that. In fact, it's gorgeous and wonderful because you're revamping, reawakening the excitement for life and your deepest source and deepest belief. But why is it around March or April you lose that mojo? Why is it around March or April the gyms get dead quiet? Why is it around March or April you haven't looked at your vision board or your mind movie in weeks? It's very simple. Each and every one of us have a neuropathway that is called powerless. Okay. And in these 5 steps, I'm going to teach you how to move through these powerless, how to move up from powerless, just 5 really simple steps, and then actually start to believe in yourself. Now, I can tell you, as somebody who's been in this work for a long time, I can be 100% honest with you. I take these 5 steps all the time. And if I feel myself swaying or swinging, I just go through the 5 steps. Super simple. Step number 1, know you've got it. Know you have a powerless story and a powerless voice. This is a very common thing that and this is not an offense to millennials, I see a lot of millennials don't do. There's almost like a refusal to feel the anxiety or the powerlessness because so many, you might have grown up with the law of attraction. You might have grown up with self-help. You might have grown up with this idea of, okay, I don't even want to think fearful thoughts. Okay, and it's interesting because I do see that. Versus in my generation, you just lived in the fearfulness and you didn't come out of it, right? So what I want to show you is that there's a couple of tripping points with step 1. Number 1, you have to be willing to feel kind of like that, have at least that thought of the doomsday scenario, that thought and the feeling. The reason you want to have the thought and feeling is because if you don't feel it, you can't heal it. You can't just skip the step of, okay, I'm not going to feel anxiety or I'm not going to feel powerless because the video told me not to. Okay. You have to feel it. So step 1, feel the feeling and write down every story you can come up with, knowing that every time you do step 1, it'll be a different reiteration. I know when I do step 1, it sometimes is written, well, who am I to do that? I'm a girl. It even gets funnier. Who am I to do that? I'm brown. Who am I to do that? It's not academics, right? Like every story. And you'll notice that the more you're willing to dig into that powerless story, there's like different onion layers. So there'll be different layers underneath them. So have the willingness to dig as to what those thoughts are. And you may even notice that some of those thoughts are more ancestral or cultural. And a lot of times they're not even yours, right? So the more you write them down, the more you can see them. They're not just swimming back here in your mind. You're actually dumping them onto a piece of paper. Step 2, maybe see in your body where it sits. And again, some people can do this easily and some people can't. So for myself, my powerless part of me really, I know, is activated when my left ribs hurt. Like, oh, nothing is possible. It's just like my whole left side goes. And then when I'm angry and I'm not expressing it, my right side gets tight. So the step 2 is maybe in your body, figure out where it is. For a lot of people, they hold it in their stomach and their lower backs and their necks. It's different for everybody, but and some people hold it in their sinuses. Everybody's different. So figure out where in your body do you hold it. Okay. Step 2 isn't necessary, but it's helpful, especially if you're very clairsentient, you feel a lot, it can be really helpful. You might not be able to figure it out right away, but with time, you will. And that's one of my gifts as an intuitive, is I can help people figure out where in their body they've got stuff. Step 3, probably the most important step, but you can't do step 3 without identifying step 1. Get angry, get pissed off. Feel the rage, feel the anger. And I talked about this a few weeks ago. And here's the important stuff: move it. Go for a hard run, hit a boxing machine, go kickboxing, do something, move it. Now, I want to say something about this. A lot of men can move through these steps really easily because they have testosterone, and moving it is actually a lot easier just by them yelling. Women, on the other hand, sometimes yelling doesn't work. They need to move the physical body. They need to scream. They need to punch. Men do too, don't get me wrong. But women tend to go from powerless to anger back to powerless because it's really deeply cemented in their mind. Because I often find when women are doing this exercise, they have a lot more reasons for powerlessness. Think about it for a sec. The classic, Barbie doll, Ken doll scenario is Barbie doll is I know it's changing, thank God. But the classic textbook, and you might have some intergenerational cultural deep patterning about this, but the classic intergenerational is the woman stays home, makes the babies, takes care of the house, and the man goes out and makes the money. For the majority of women, that can be very disempowering. And a lot of women believe, well, that's all I'm good for. I'm good for giving you sex, making dinner, and raising our kids. There's nothing more disempowering in my belief than that. And so for a lot of women, it's like caked on like an 8-layer cake, versus men are typically raised like, you're going to go get a job, you're going to support the family. It's kind of just built into them. And so I'm not saying men don't have to go through those 5 steps. Of course they do, because sometimes men feel like, oh God, I feel disempowered that I can't make the money my woman wants or whatever. But know sometimes that for women, they often loop between powerless and anger more often, which is actually why more women get chronically sick, because they hold that powerless deeper in their body because it just gets stuck. So step 3 is feel the anger and rage and be willing to move it. Scream, yell, hit a punching bag. Find the exercise that actually moves it. Step 4 will only work when you've done step 1, 2, and 3. Step 4, and this is from A Course in Miracles, you are a child of God, and you cannot feel that unless you've done step 1, 2, and 3. You are the divine I am. You are spirit in a human body. That which you focus your mind on and think about will manifest with great ease. Your manifestation tool comes out of your body. It's an energy. The more you believe in yourself, the more you're going to create it. So step 4 is identify you're a child of the divine and forgive the anger and rage, because it's deeply intergenerational, deeply cultural, deeply how you were raised, deep in your subconscious. But now it's time to forgive the thought that you're not enough. Forgive the anger, not for being there. The anger was a response to feeling powerless. So forgive the idea for the powerlessness. And then that forgives the anger. Step 5, now you can look at your mind movie. Now you can work with your vision board. Now you can visualize yourself on that beautiful stage, teaching to 1 million people, helping the world in whatever way you're here for. Now working with your universal laws and energy will actually work. Because up until now, that powerlessness has been running. The anger has been situated inside. So until you go through these 5 steps, the 5th step is what we all try to do, especially in January. I'm going to visualize my dream. I'm going to create it. My mind creates everything. And then you fall apart by March. And this is how you break. And if these 5 steps aren't working, because you haven't done step 1 and 3, really keen into what the powerlessness is, you haven't moved the anger. But I will tell you, as somebody who goes through these steps regularly, if you move it, you're going to have faster manifestation. You're going to feel better. Things are going to move. Okay. So I really want you to be aware that believing in yourself is about shifting out of the neuropathway that you're powerless into empowerment. But it's not about spiritually bypassing it and jumping over it and saying, no, I don't believe that. It's about feeling the depths of it. Remember, to heal, you have to feel. Feel it, and move into rage and anger, move the anger and go, oh, yeah, I am a child of God. Forgive the thought that you're not enough. Forgiveness set me free. Forgiveness set me free. Forgiveness set me free. Forgiveness set me free. Do the Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me and thank you. I'm sorry for ever thinking I wasn't enough. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you, like a repeat chant. And then sit in your truth. I'm a child of God. What do my thoughts manifest? Then visualize, watch your mind movie, sit and your solar plexus opens, and then you will attract that what you think. So I hope that helps. It's a fabulous 5 steps. Whenever you feel like you're completely defeated, pull this video back up and have fun. Sending you lots of love. Namaste from Dr. Divi. Thank you so much for joining me in this podcast, Ease into Clarity. It is such a joy, pleasure, and honor to be in your living room. What I would love is if you follow me on Instagram, DRDIVI, or go to my website, drdivi.com, or write a review. That would be even more amazing. Thank you. If you really enjoyed this podcast, feel free to share it with friends, family. Tell them to follow me, because I think the more of us that listen to the fact that each of us, can start to shift. Each of us can shift mental things, emotional things, spiritual shift, to shift our daily reality. When more and more of us do it, we get a better planet. We get more love. We get more happiness. We get more joy. So I'd love it if you followed. I'd love it if you shared this, because it would be such a joy and an honor. And again, if you have a question, guess what? I'm here for you. So send me an email, easeintoclarity@gmail.com. And as they come in, I will answer them in podcasts that are subsequent, whether it be your boss, your relationship, your husband, whatever. That's what I'm here for. Because the more of us that learn really simple mental techniques, really simple spiritual techniques, we change the physical reality we live in. Pretty soon we have more peace, more ease, more joy, trickling across the whole world. Remember, there's a spiritual solution for every problem. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.